And here we go. It is Wednesday, April 30th, 1 p.m. And we are being joined today, as we are, how lucky we are to be joined every single month by Newport School Superintendent Colleen Jermain. And I'm using a lot of buttons at once today. So
Okay.
I'm flying solo, so I don't have the background operator like I normally do. So,
Okay. Good
but
afternoon.
good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. It's a beautiful day, and it's a very busy day. The project is well underway. We've had lots of visitors today. We had the Department of Ed ride came down to take a look, and they just left a little while ago. And we just had one of our meetings, our building meetings, and we're kind of getting into that final touches of what needs to be done before we get the keys on June 6th. So things are moving along quite nicely. And it's, like I said, beautiful day. When the sun shines, we're all happy.
And
So it's
everything
good.
is still on schedule.
Yes, we're still on schedule. Gilbane has a very busy timeline. A lot of things need to be done. The punch list will be created very soon. They're getting that together. We'll be doing walkthroughs. Our moving has actually begun. Some of our CTE programs during the April vacation, we moved some of that equipment over there already. They've adjusted their curriculum for the end of the school year to be able to send some equipment over already. And then we have next week, we have some of our CTE programming, larger equipment being moved over as well. The teachers are packing. Miss Nash and I are busy getting our boxes together. We'll be moving out as well. And the movers will be here on June 20th, the last day of school. They'll be here through, I think, July 3rd. And hopefully by then we'll have everything buttoned up into the new high school. And we'll be ready for our grand opening. Ribbon cutting is going to be on Friday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. The save the date is going out very shortly. I should have brought one of our postcards where we have lots of really great postcards that we'll be sending out to invite everyone to the grand opening. And we hope that you and Frank will be able to attend as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure that I put it on my calendar. So 36 days until June 6th when you get the keys. 14 days after that, about 14 days after that, school is done, or the movers show up, I guess.
Yep, the movers are going to be showing up. Actually, we're doing some informal moving right now. And then the movers will be here on the 20th and they'll be going. So we've kind of started already. And here is, thank you, Miss Nash. Here is our flyer that was sending out with our students. And that's Mr. Peter Core with our students as they toured the auditorium. And he oversees the theater. So they were looking at the auditorium, making sure the lighting and everything is coming along.
Look at that.
And this, our ADM did this. Students in ADM did this postcard.
Very nice. I'm sure tours have picked up and they're just going to continue to pick up as we get closer to the big day.
No, actually May 1st, no more tours. That's why they're picking up right now. And May 1st, they kind of button everything down, shut it down. They do final cleaning. They're doing their punch list. They close the doors to each of the rooms. And then what happens is they'll bring us through and we'll go through and our OPM downs will tour the building as well. And any things we see, we mark down. And then on June 6th, I guess we're going to have a little official ceremony where they hand over the keys to us. Yes. We take ownership.
And so the project is on time. How is the budget looking for the school?
Yeah, the budget's doing okay now that, between our school building committee, the city council helping us with the finances they have, we're doing okay. We're staying within just using allowances or any contingencies we have. And we still have a healthy contingency. Well, healthy is relative, I guess. So we have about a 1.3 right now, million. Some people might go, wow, that's a lot. Not really, when you consider that we still have the demolition of the building I'm standing in right now. And as we have unfortunately seen, this is a site that has a lot of unknowns and a lot of history to it that rules, regulations, everything have changed since this building was built back in the 50s. So we have to be mindful of when we start tearing things down, looking for some of those hidden things that based on today's standards, we're going to have to either dispose of in a certain way, and all of the above. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that we have a smooth demolition and we move forward.
I guess when we talk about budget and buildings, how about the tech program? Do we have any news, or is there anything new on that front?
So we're keeping the NACTech building, the CTE building. Cosmetology and automotive programs will stay over there. We actually received a grant where we can do some refurbishing of that building in the sense of, for the cosmetology room, for instance, the flooring. That flooring has dye, everything all over it. So we'll be putting a new floor down, doing some paint job, freshening it up. And over in automotive, we have some cleaning and freshening and painting we'll be doing so that our students in all our CTE programs will see nice, bright walls, clean facilities, and it'll move forward. So let me see. The culinary program is moving out of there, as you are aware. So we are going to still keep the kitchen over there. We have the refrigerators, and we'll be supporting Jean's Closet, which we have over here in our main building. Jean's Closet will move over to that area. So there's a refrigerator, there's a loading dock to receive food. And for those that don't know, Jean's Closet is a food pantry we have over here at Rogers High School. It's not only for our students, it's also for the community members. And so people in the neighborhood, people that are looking for extra food or, just want to check us out, Jean's Closet. We will be closing that down temporarily during this period to get everything moved over into the NACTech building. The Alumni Association, we love Colleen Murray and our alumni. They will be moving over to the NACTech building as well. So we'll be moving their things. They exist right now right around the perimeter of the library over here in the Rogers High School building. So they'll be moving over to the NACTech building. The trenching for the utilities and working around the NACTech building, the final cost came in. And that will be about $380,000. The school committee, thank you very much, school committee, when we went to save the building, promised $300,000 out of our fund balance. And then we are going to be taking the remaining, I think it's $82,000 we'll be taking out of our additional funds we have from savings on the project. So we have that. Let's see, work on the NACTech building and the parking lots and that entire area is going to begin July 3rd. So that whole back area is going to be closed to traffic. There's going to be, the city of Newport is going to bring its water line in from that area. Right now, the water line comes from Norman Street across the back under the former old track. Now the city has requested that we go down a little on Old Fort, and then from the fire station, we'll come in with the water line for the CTE building. Let me see.
A couple notes here.
The cell tower is down.
Oh,
the cell tower came down.
Okay.
So that came down, much to our committee member, Bobby Leary's delight. That came down the first full week of April. And thank you, Director Halal and Young. They helped to facilitate that. So our neighbors really were concerned about the cell tower still being there, even though we were not using it for any activity. They were afraid, it might be enticing for young people to try to dare to climb or something. So we did get that down. And that was exciting news at the beginning of April. April's been a very, very busy month.
And I was going to say May 1st is tomorrow, so it is a very busy day for you. Couple things. Jean's Closet a couple times of the year does ask for the community support, so make sure you follow Newport Public Schools, and they share them, will share them. I know a couple times a year, especially around the holidays, looking for a little bit of support. Wondering, there's a couple dates here where might confuse some people, where they might be like, oh, it's done, when you get the keys. Like, no, there's a long way to go. Then there's the moving. Then there's the August 22nd event. And then there's a new school and a new school year, but you have to take down the old building. So I'm wondering, with the old building, is there going to be one last public event in it to say goodbye? Or what is the construction? When is everything actually scheduled to be done? Building done, landscaping, all of that good stuff. So you can answer that in any way you want.
That will be okay. That'll be done in 2026.
Yep.
We'll have the building down, the landscaping down. You won't even know there was a school building where I'm standing right now. As far as one big final activity, no, we haven't thought of that at this time. I'll have to raise that with Principal Vance in the group. So we haven't thought of that.
They're so nostalgic. I'm sure
Yeah.
they'd probably be a fundraiser to walk through the school one more time.
That'd be great. We would need that.
Yes.
So that's a good idea, Ryan. Thank you. So we do know we have to be out of it by, I think we have to be out of here by June 25th. We have to, everyone has to be physically out of the building. So we do have to be out by then. Then we'll have the bus loop, the temporary bus loop that's here now. That'll stay for a little while. And then all the road work will begin, as I said, off of Old Fort. Let me see.
So no big vacations this summer?
No. If anything, we're all trying here and there when possible to take a little break, because it is going to be, it's already started to become fast and furious almost every week. But it's really going to ramp up once around May 15th hits, and we only have about 2 more weeks before June 6th.
On the student front, I mean, there's got to be some mixed emotions. You have the seniors, getting to graduation date and seeing this brand new school and going, we were just off, but also happy to be out of school. But for the grades that are going to move into there must be a lot of excitement.
There is a lot of excitement, Ryan. And as a matter of fact, for the August 22nd ribbon cutting, we're seeking and already speaking to the students about being ambassadors that day to take people on tours, because we're not going to be able to allow everyone just to run through the building. So we'll have tours, we'll have people stationed throughout the building to be able to guide them. There is a lot of excitement. I believe I've already mentioned that just watching them look around, and the voices, which it just, every time I think about it, the few that have gone, we're going to go to school here, this is going to be our school, it's like they're in a state of shock. So the bathrooms have really been eye-opening for them. They're like, the bathrooms don't have doors to get into them. They're very much like the airport. Okay. So you get there and you can see in there, you can see the sinks, you can see, the dryers and everything. And everything else, of course, for privacy is around another wall. But they go, where are the doors? And we go, there are no doors. It's just like an airport. Now, we've got some mixed emotions about that one. They're like, And, they kind of go in, they check it out. And then when they go in, they're okay. But at first, they're like, this is different. So the cafeteria was very similar, the same way, the way it's laid out. Student Commons, for those when you do, and hopefully everyone will get a chance to come in to the new building. They're not used to being in a multi-storied building. So when you walk in the front door and you have this huge, well, in my world, it's huge. You have the Commons, which will be their cafeteria, meeting areas, things like that. Then you have a grand staircase that goes up to the second floor that also can be a presentation area. And we have a screen. We purposely put a large screen there so students can sit in the cafeteria, or community meetings can be held there, and the screen comes down. While you're in that, you can actually turn to your left and you can look into the auditorium, which seats 400. And we purposely did folding doors so that they can fold back like an accordion. And you can see everything in that room as well. And then to the right, if the student turns to the right, is the Library Media Center, which has folding glass windows that can go back, stools on both sides of the counters, so you can be in the library or outside the library having conversations with someone that might be sitting on the other side, or they can be closed, research. There are private rooms for research and study in there as well. So the first floor is really something to see. The gym floor is down. That went down 2 weeks ago. It is, we're still getting that primed. There's all this about the court. You have to wait so many days. You have to lay the boards a certain way. So we have that almost finished. We have the scoreboards up. We have the speaker system up. The netting for the volleyball is up in the ceiling. And then we are now looking at the banners because we're bringing the banners over from the old gym. And that was a big part of our conversation today. We want to make sure those are up and ready for the grand opening in August. Then we have a mock apartment that is for our students. It's a part of life skills, but it's also for a course as far as just learning. It has to do with home care, cooking, everything. And the department
economics, right?
Through. What's that?
It's the equivalent to maybe what we grew up with home economics and learning how to do laundry.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. It's the same thing. But the people from the Department of Ed came through and they were like, oh my gosh, we haven't seen one of these in a high school yet. And I guess we're going to be the first. And we also have a serving window because the students, we do allow coffee. And in the morning, they can do coffee and they can do pastries and things like that. So they'll have a serving window and right as the teachers come in from their parking lot, it's on their left. So we have that. The fitness room, we were able to, the perseverance, I will say, to Ms. Bolin and the school building committee and our carpentry construction class. We actually have the Viking from the former gym floor. And that is going to be hung in the fitness room. So we've really tried to keep some of the history and nostalgia from this building and bringing it over to the old. We took the cornerstone out over here. That's right outside where my office is now located on Wickham. And we took the cornerstone out and we're bringing that over to the new building. So when you go in, you're going to see it. We have an area that you're going to see it. So you're going to see kind of like the history of Rogers High School and now the new high school. So.
Besides the obvious numbers, the budget and everything else in the fall, I imagine one number that you might see the biggest improvement to is attendance and the attendance levels of kids going to a new school. I imagine that the attendance levels are going to spike. Are there any other numbers that obviously you're looking at them all, but are there any other numbers that you're going to be looking at, September to December, to kind of judge how it's going besides student satisfaction and teacher satisfaction?
Right. Attendance is definitely a biggie, as you just hit the nail on the head right there. Attendance, we'll also be looking at academics and we'll be looking at our CTE programming and AP courses, but CTE in the sense of we strongly suspect we're going to have a spike in enrollment there because of if you see the facility, it's people walk in and people have said it. And some of the teachers on the campus have said it. They've said, well, it's very clear where the investments have been made because the CTE rooms are just state of the art. The science labs have the tables that rise and go down. They have biology and chemistry labs with shared facilities in the middle for materials and whatnot. The art room is amazing. It's up on the 3rd floor, purposely put on the Wickham Avenue side. So it has the southern light all along. And the kilns, I know the kilns, didn't think of that. We brought the kilns up to the 3rd floor. So the kilns are up there and the pottery, ceramics, the teachers were in there last week. I was fortunate to be with them when they were in there. They just couldn't get over the rooms and the space and the light. And that's a big, and we're very fortunate, a big asset to, and something about this building, the natural light and all the windows we have is very purposeful, and all the glass. And Van Buren Charitable Foundation and some of our other community partners really, really helped us in that area. They felt it was important for aesthetics and student learning, which it is. Research shows that. So we're hoping just overall student achievement improvement, because it does make a difference, the environment in which a child is when he or she comes to school every day. So, the relationship between teacher and student, that will never go away. That's the most important thing. And then the instruction in the classroom, that instruction is what's going to drive student achievement, but also having a place and space that is comfortable. You're not either boiling and hot or freezing. I had a parent stop by my office unexpectedly. I had my construction jacket on, my beanie hat on, because the temperature was 40-something degrees. And she walked in, and I looked at her. She wanted to know if I was the superintendent. And I said, "Excuse me, yes, I am." I said, and she goes, "It's cold in here." And I said, "Yes, that's why I'm dressed this way." But that's what our students and our staff have been going through for multiple years in this building. So it's really past due, and hopefully the new building is fully air conditioned. We do have natural air. The windows do open, because that was important to the staff. When they heard that it was going to be air conditioned, they said, "Well, are we going to be able to open the windows and get natural air?" And that's all there. So we have that going on. So there's just a lot.
I want to keep you right on schedule today, so I'm going to throw two things.
Oh, thank you.
I know you're very busy, and I know we had to move this and all of that, but a couple of things. Two more things I want to hit on. You can intertwine them or whatever it may be. It's budget time for City Council. I'm wondering how public schools, your department is doing through that. If you have any call to action for those who care about new public schools. And also, we've been talking about a lot of new buildings and budgets, and just wondering if you have any updates on where conversations with Middletown have been going.
Okay, so the 4% request went before the City Council last week. That's a $1.1 million increase from our previous budget request. They did, and their preliminary budget does show they did help us with that and do have the 4% there, but they have other asks and other things. So we won't know until it's over. So May 14th is when they're going to give the revisions and updates based upon the workshops they've had. And we're keeping our fingers crossed that that will stay intact, because our budget is built on receiving a 4%. State aid came out last Friday, and we are at presently $280K less than what was expected. But it's not over, as my finance director says, very optimistically. That won't be over until the General Assembly votes, and we're hearing rumors that maybe we'll get a little bit more of a bump. But right now, we're 280 in the hole. So that puts us overall with the gap we still had to manage based upon the school committee's decision. And they're right. They want us to keep the fund balance and not use any of our fund balance. So that's one-time money only. So right now, we're looking at as of today, about a 950, I'm rounding, K budget gap. So we're chipping away at that. We have been looking at layoffs. We will have layoffs, and we're trying to finalize those numbers. Discussions with regionalization and Middletown have, me personally, I'll say, have been slow. I have not, Billy Niemeyer, the superintendent at Middletown, and I, we touch base now and then. It was a very hot topic at the city council meeting that kept being brought up. And I know in our newsletter and in my anything I'm sending out, I am encouraging people to sign up for the city council committee there and to participate. I know I signed up because no matter what, we've got to keep the ball moving and going forward. And the more we can have those conversations, the better for both communities. It is a money issue in the sense that if enrollments continue to decline, it's going to be a very difficult model for communities to sustain going forward. So I do think we can do some very positive things working with Middletown, especially if we could have universal pre-K. Think of that. If both communities could have that and build those strong foundations for all our children, that would be, that would be a fantastic start. And both communities would like to see that. CTE programming also, we could expand. Rod Thompson has a STEM program now that we'd like to expand next year to another level so we can prep students while they're in the middle school. So that's what's going on there. I'm sorry.
It's okay. When will you know the enrollment numbers for the year upcoming? Is it when the school year starts? Or I know they're always changing, but when will you have a good sense of the enrollment numbers for the new school?
August 1st.
Okay. So about 30 days out.
Yeah. Yep. August 1st. I know all our CTE programs are full. So I do know that.
Them still decline, or you think they're possibly it could flatten out or even go
up? The CTE programming?
Just overall enrollment in
overall, our NESDEC enrollment projections do show that we're going to decline. And over the next 10 years, 500 to 600 students less in our public schools. And this is based on birth rates. This is based on just all the data we have so far. So that's where we are with enrollment projections. Now, I have reached out to Rhonda Mitchell over at the Housing Authority because they have, I believe, 4 buildings with multi-unit apartments. So she's trying to get numbers together for me to see if there are any new families moving in or families moving back. And if so, how that would impact the our enrollment here in Newport. I know Middletown has at least 2 housing projects going on, one off J.H. Dwyer and one off West Main Road, where it used to be the skater park. So I do know they have some things, and both our populations with multi-language learners is expanding, and we both have those needs. So there's a lot of commonalities. I think we could do good work. And even if the enrollment did decline, that was one of the things I was talking about with the council. Right now, I wouldn't have the room to have universal pre-K. I don't have the space, but if we don't need as many rooms as we have in the past, that may open up space. We used to, when I was here, when I started, we had 9 kindergartens. We're down to 5 this year. We're projecting 5. So that's where we are.
And it just shows how everything is tied together. Whether you have somebody in the school system or not, or care about public education or not, the affordable housing aspect of it and making it so families can afford to live in Newport is so important on so many different levels. This is just one. I'm wondering on a national level, we had quickly touched base, and I had quickly done a story, but is what's going on at the Department of Public Education affecting business with you on a daily basis in any way?
Statewide, the commissioner has really taken the lead on how she's handling any national level discussions or suggestions or possible future actions. So she's on behalf of all the school districts, she's been doing that. Yes, of course, we are watching it very carefully. For a community like Newport, we do have 2 large, not as large as Providence, but our Title I, which is tied to poverty, and our IDEA, special ed, both we receive substantial funding, and that supports a lot of our staff in the special ed department as far as providing services. So that does concern me. I'm hoping that the intent is not to impact children in schools and to help our schools just to continue as they are.
Excellent. 1:30 on the dot. Take that, Frank Prosnitz. Unless
all right.
Superintendent, I'm
But
sure
you
you have
didn't
something.
let me do any announcements.
Go ahead. We have time.
Okay.
It's
All
your
right.
schedule, not mine.
Everyone needs to know. Rogers High School has started phone-free Fridays. So there's a challenge for staff and students. They started last Friday, and Mr. Vance has encouraged everyone to participate. They sign up, then they take a little survey at the end of the day so we can kind of get the understanding of how did it go, what did you think? And then we also are offering prizes. We have wonderful $100 gift certificates, lots of prizes. So we're continuing phone-free Fridays throughout the rest of this year. And why are we doing this? Because the new high school is not going to have cell phones for children, and we're trying with adults as well. We're going to go phone-free during our academic time. So research, everything's showing us the importance of putting them away so that we can dedicate our time and energies to our studies, which is why we're all here, and we want to provide the best education as possible. I've already told you August 22nd, 10 a.m. I have lots of other announcements, but what I'm going to say for you right now is my superintendent's weekly update will be out tomorrow or today. It's Wednesday, isn't it?
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's out today.
I'm all
So we'll
confused
send it
this
out
week.
today. So there's more information. Tomorrow's National Principals Day. So we thank Principal Vance, Principal Dr. Browner, and Principal Westman for all they do. It's Principals Day. And next week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And of course, we all appreciate our teachers. So thank you to
Excellent.
everyone for all their help and their efforts.
Excellent. We did well today.
Yes, we did.
All right. I didn't get to a couple things, but it's all right. We'll get to it next month because you join us every single month.
Okay.
And next month we'll be very excited because we'll be in May and we'll be just like a week away from key time. So,
It'll be the last broadcast from this room.
look at that.
There you go.
Maybe you'll give us a tour.
There you go. Okay. All right.
All right,
Have a good one. And thank you for everything, Ryan. Take care.
All right. So that is Superintendent Colleen Burns-Jermain. We appreciate her joining us. She joins us on the last Wednesday of every single month. So look for her again here in May. If you have a question for the superintendent that you'd like us to ask, you can submit it right on our website. Otherwise, of course, you can reach out to her office ahead of time and ask the question. We appreciate her taking the time today. If you missed any portion of this conversation, want to watch it again, want to share it, want to listen to it, whatever it may be, want to go back and hear one of the bad jokes that I told, all available on whatsupnuke.com. We also turn it into a story as well as a podcast, all coming soon up on the website. Thanks for watching.